There is no shortage of horror games out there, but for every phasmophobia, you have about 1,000 tattletales. Horror is such an interesting genre because even a simple game about looking at cameras can spawn a multi-million-dollar franchise with multiple games, countless toys, and a decent movie. But here lies the problem. People mistake simple as easy. They think you can just plop a player into a spooky location, dim the lights, and give them a flashlight, and boom, you have a bestseller. Oh wait, I forgot the unnecessarily loud jump scares.
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
While horror can be a very lucrative genre that gets you millions of views on YouTube and front page on Steam, you still need to put effort in to get there. But this is a game dev channel. I'm not just going to talk about good horror games, I'm going to try and make one myself. So I started by dropping the character into a spooky location, dimming the lights, and giving them a flashlight. I can taste the success already. Okay, maybe it still needs some work. So here's my idea. I want to make a game like Slenderman, but a little different. Instead of the woods, I want it to be underwater, and instead of collecting pages, you collect lost items. How'd those items get to the bottom of the ocean? I don't know, maybe some rich people got into a terrible submarine accident and you've been sent to retrieve some of their stuff. Just a random example I thought of. Anyways, to make a good horror game, you have to focus on 3 key things. And no, jump scares isn't one of them.
Your car's extended warranty.
One of the most important things for a horror game is the vibes. If my game takes place in a luxury resort, no matter how many loud noises I throw at you, you're not going to get scared. One of the scariest parts of any game is the feeling of helplessness. Look at Lethal Company. When you're in a group of friends, it's all fun and games. But as soon as you get separated and everything gets real quiet, things get a bit more tense. But this is only the case because you don't have many options to fight back. Most of the time, all you can do is run. This is why I chose an underwater setting. The most helpless I have ever felt was when I went scuba diving. While it was amazing, you are completely not in control. You can only see directly in front of you, and even if you did see a shark coming, what are you going to do? Even going up too fast can kill you. You are completely at the mercy of the animals and how much oxygen you have left in your tank. And this was during the day. Imagine how it is at night. This is the vibe I'm trying to capture. So back to my dimly lit underwater scene. I'm using this asset pack for the environment, by the way. For the player movement, I just used the Unity first-person starter asset, but this wasn't built for underwater. I tweaked the code some to make it so you can move in any direction, including up and down, and I also changed gravity so that you slowly sink if you're standing still. Now it kinda feels like you're in water. And if I turn the lights off again, it's not very scary. So I copied Slenderman's notes and made multiple points of interest that will spawn treasures. These are normally tight corridors that make you dread turning corners, and they also give you less options for running. I don't want to spoil them all, so I'll just show you the first one I made. A dense patch of seaweed that you have to swim through to reach the opening in the center. This one still gives you options for running, but your vision is completely useless when you're swimming through it. For the treasure, I started with a simple sphere to get the mechanics down. I've already made picking things up in my robot game, so doing it here was pretty easy. Just project a raycast from the center of the screen, and if it touches an item, a prompt to hit E will appear, and when you press it, the item is collected. I made 7 of these locations for you to find. And I made each location have multiple treasure spawning locations, so it's not always in the same places. I also added an outline to the treasures, so they stand out more. I then spent way too long doing the map design, but hey, somebody had to do it. But it's finally starting to feel a little spooky, but it was still missing the second must-have for any horror game. You might think now's the time for the monster, but even more important than that is the sounds. A jump scare without bursting your eardrums just isn't scary. But more than that, sound helps build the environment. FNAF does this really well. If you were just sitting in a room, there would be nothing really to worry about. But you hear footsteps in the distance, and soft banging, and a fan constantly humming. This is all there to build up the tension, so when the jump scare does come, it's been building up for so long that you have no choice but to be scared.
Your car's extended warranty.
Of course, being underwater, you get the constant noise of breathing and shooting bubbles, but also random bumps and bangs of something swimming around you. The scene I'm showing you now isn't that scary, but now watch it with sound. With the sound, you don't even really need a monster. If you're swimming in the dark hearing noises, your mind is going to come up with something way scarier than I ever could. But since it wouldn't be scary if nothing ever attacked you, it's finally time for the main attraction, the monsters. Yes, plural. I wanted the monsters to make it so you never really feel safe. So each one takes something different away from you. There of course is the one that appears around corners, so everywhere you go you have to be on the lookout. But there's also one that will follow behind you and only swim away when you look at it. This forces the player to always be checking over their shoulder, but also makes them scared to go forward. Now, there are still some features of my game that make the player feel safe. mainly having a flashlight and picking up treasures. So let's take that away too. I added malfunctions so every now and then your flashlight will just go out and you'll be left in the dark for a few seconds, just hoping nothing gets you before it comes back on. Now all that was left was making it so you couldn't even trust the treasures you were sent to collect. I made it so every now and then a fake treasure will appear, and when you try to grab it, a scary fish comes out and chases you. I was going for an anglerfish kind of vibe, but instead of a light it has a treasure. And with this making even collecting treasures a risk, I made it so at no point do you ever truly feel safe. I made some loud jump scares for each one too, just for the people who like it, and then I had to make the part even scarier than that. The menu, setting, and windscreen. And finally, I have a decent horror game. Is it the next Lethal Company? No. But is it better than most of the cash grab horror games? Also no. Wait, did I just make a worse Subnautica? Well, it's free, go play it now. Link is below, and maybe subscribe while you're down there. See y'all next time.